Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 70 Years and Beyond. I'm Wambui, and today I'm starting a new series called High Tech Woes, where I'll be sharing my thoughts on modern technology, the good, the bad, and the sometimes frustrating. The series came from my reflections on how technology has changed our daily lives. While I embrace many aspects of technology, there are things from the good old days that I miss. Now, as a child in the 1960s, in 1960, I was 10. So I'm thinking I was like 11 or 12 when I used to watch this show. I used to watch the Jetsons. The Jetsons was a cartoon, and they lived in a very futuristic world. So I used to watch the Jetsons and dream about their futuristic world with flying cars and robot maids and smart watches. And let me tell you the thing that fascinated me the most. They had an item like a phone where you could call someone, and not only could you talk to them, but no matter how far they were away, you could see them and they could see you. And so not only could you talk to each other, but you could see each other. Now, this is 1960s. We didn't even have computers. We definitely didn't have any cell phones. We had these big old clunky phones in our home that if you wanted to receive a call, you had to be at home. If you wanted to make a call, you had to be at home. So to see something like this in a cartoon blew my mind, and I was sure I would not live long enough to see that item come to fruition. Well, here we are in 2025. And while we don't have flying cars that I know of, we do have video calls and smartphones and robots that clean. But the question is our high-tech world everything we hoped it would be? You see, I have some concerns because I really thought if this technology started unfolding, it was going to make life just easier. That everything would be just a push of a button. You know, one thing about the Jetsons is I never heard them complain or say anything about system updates. I never heard anyone talk about, oh, I can't find my password. Now, maybe they did and they just didn't air those episodes. But those are two main things that I think about today when I'm thinking about what just happened here? Is our technology really working for us to make everything easy? One thing I've noticed more and more is what I call earbud epidemic, the earbud epidemic. And that's seeing nearly everyone walking around with those earbuds in their ear, like these right here. You know, these earbuds right here. Okay? So yeah, it's like an epidemic. Now, I don't know if it's a New York thing or not, but because I know when I lived in outside of big cities, everyone had their own car, and you would get in your car, go somewhere, take care of business, get in your car, and you'd come back home, park your car, and that was that. But here in New York City, because so many people are dependent upon public transportation, we always have crowds of people in the subway, on the buses, on the streets. It's just a lot of people. Plus, it's a city that has a lot of people in it. And so it's really amazing for me to see people with ear. Now, where you live, do you see this where people are more and more wearing earbuds in, out and about, just on their errands and everything? They have on headphones and earbuds. I don't know. Let me show you. I have some headphones, but they're not pretty like the ones I see the people wearing around the city. When I see the people going around the city, they have really pretty headphones. And so I can understand why they want to wear them, but I don't know why you would want to wear it in New York City, because in New York City, it seems like you got to be aware, and so it seems like you would want to hear if somebody was trying to warn you of something, or you'd want to hear if somebody was threatening you. Seems like you'd want to hear those things so that you can make a better decision about what you want to do. But when you don't hear it, things just catch you off guard. Now, one of my daughters told me that she doesn't believe that everybody who's wearing the headphones and the earbuds are actually listening to something. She believes there are a few, she says, who are just wearing them because it gives them an excuse not to have to talk to you, because you will assume that they are listening to something else. I know the other day I got on the wrong train by mistake, and I started realizing this because I started seeing stops that I didn't recognize. And it was a train that I take all the time, but it was just like, whoa, where are we? I never saw this stop before. And so I turned to the guy next to me and I said, is this the A train? Nothing. He was completely in his own world. And so I turned to the lady next to me and I could see that she had those little buds in her ear. So I didn't even bother saying anything to her. I reached around her. Now there was a woman, an elderly woman. Now let me tell you, I have a granddaughter that can name the Gen X, the Gen Z, and tell you who those people are and what age they are and all that. I don't know all that, but I know I'm a boomer, and I know when I need to talk to somebody right now in the street or on the bus, or I look for another boomer, because they relate. They're you. First of all, we're not plugged in. The 60 years old, the 70 and the 80, we're not plugged in. And so it's easy to talk to someone who's not plugged in, and that's usually the boomers. So I said to the lady over there, I said, well, is this an A train? And she said, no. She said, this is a D. She said, but you can get off at the next stop and you can cross over without having to pay again. And then we went on and we had a very friendly conversation about the buses and the trains and transportation in New York City. And in the meantime, these tiny devices create invisible walls between people who are physically right beside each other, but you're like everybody's in their different world. Now, I've also noticed how eerily quiet it's become over the years in public spaces. Now, here in New York, I know I'm not talking about the people who are just loud. There are some people that are just loud, but they're not really talking with anybody. Sometimes they're talking to themselves, or sometimes they're just talking at anybody that will hear them. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just in general. Things have gotten quiet. They're going quiet because no one is talking to anyone, as we mentioned before. I compare today to the past. In the 1970s and in the 1980s, my children were very young. My children were born in the 80s. And people would chat about, when we get on the bus or we were on the train, we would chat about the weather. The weather is always a good thing to chat about. We would chat about a book someone was reading. We would talk about our children's schools and their lessons. And someone might share some information about an event that was happening in the community. And we just exchanged pleasantries. Now everyone is strolling on the phone or listening to something privately. The art of casual conversation with strangers is fading away. I've seen people so absorbed in their phones that they nearly walk into ongoing traffic. It actually worries me when we're constantly tuned into our devices. We tune out the world around us. Now, when I was growing up, when we went out walking, or we were going downtown, we just walked a lot anyway in that time period. Well, we didn't have a car, so we walked a lot. But it was like we spoke to everybody. You said hello. You just kind of communicated with the people as you met them. It wasn't like how I see now where people are just, with the earbuds in or the headphones on, and they're just going their way and they don't see you, they don't hear you, they're just in their own world. And I miss that world of when we used to talk to each other. My brother and I sometimes laugh about the fact that we cannot not say hello to someone. I mean, we have been times where we knew somebody and we was like, they didn't treat us right. They did something wrong. We know they don't like us or whatever. And so we said, well, I'm just not going to speak to them no more. And then we'd be walking right down and we'd see them and we go, hey, how you doing? It's like we cannot not say hi. And so that was the world that I grew up in, and I miss that world. Here's something that I find absolutely fascinating. We have more ways to connect than ever before. Yet, people seem harder to reach on a basic human level. A survey found that about 2/3 of people feel technology has made it harder to connect meaningfully with others. Isn't that ironic? We can text someone across the world instantly, but we struggle to say hello to the person sitting next to us on a bus seat. We've all seen gatherings of families and friends in restaurants, and there's always that one that's got to look at that phone. Someone just can't put that phone down. Or family reunions. Someone will fly 3,000 miles to get over to where the reunion is and to see you, and they or the people there cannot put the phone down. You're talking to someone, but you got to look at your phone. You just got to look at it. You got to look at it every now and then. You got to stroll it. You just got to look at your phone instead of putting those phones down and really having a heart to heart, getting really to know your friends and your family face to face, eye to eye. Something else that I find disturbing is I've seen loving parents, guardians, accompany children to events, and I see the parent, the guardian, or whoever's with the child taking pictures and videos of the child and everything at the event. But what I have noticed is that sometimes they are taking so many pictures and so many videos that they're not present at the event. The only way they can live through that event again is, of course, through the pictures and the video. But they never lived through the event the first time. They didn't experience the real event because they were watching the event through a lens instead of being present. Do you understand what I'm saying? They weren't present. They were busy taking pictures, and so they really missed the event. I think it's wonderful to have pictures and videos of your kids and family events and of places where you go, but you got to keep in mind that after a certain amount of pictures and videos, you put a cap on it, because what you want to do is be present and experience the event live and in person. I worry we're losing something precious in our rush to stay digitally connected. Now, I'm not anti-technology, not by any means. I love that I'm able to video chat with my granddaughters or stream my favorite songs anytime online. What I'm advocating for is a balance in using our wonderful devices without them using us. Now, here's something that I found by mistake, but now I love it. You see, one day I was leaving my house and I'd forgotten my phone. I was about a block away when I remembered my phone, and I said, oh, I got to go back and get the phone. And so I started walking back to get the phone, and I thought, why am I going to get the phone? And all of a sudden, I just felt really light and very free. I felt that I couldn't be bothered by anyone. No one could reach me. No one could text me. It felt good. And so I have come to make that a habit sometimes, where I just will go, if it's a short errand especially, I just go without my phone. And I recommend that. Now, I know there are some of you who are taking care of people who are ill, or you have children who are being watched, or you need to, you want to be there. You don't want to not be able to be gotten in touch with if you need to. I get that. But I say just, if you can, just go for an hour or even a half hour, take a walk without your phone and see how you feel. I also recommend that if you're one of the people that are plugged in, just try going without your earplugs for a little while, without your headphones. Unplug for just a half hour and see if you don't see and hear or find out about something that you would have totally missed if you had been plugged in. So those are two things that I recommend doing in order to unplug yourself from this technological world and get back a little bit to the what I'm going to call the real world. So I'm interested to know, how do you maintain human connection in our digital age? Do you have rules for yourself about phone use in public or during family time? I believe we can enjoy the benefits of modern technology without sacrificing human connection. In next week's episode, I'll be tackling another modern challenge: QR code menus at restaurants. Let me tell you, that's been quite an adventure for these old eyes. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments below. This is Wambui from 70 Years and Beyond, reminding you that every day, no matter how high-tech or hectic, is a gift. See you next Monday at 4:30.